absolutely horrific.
Yeah, Stu, this is just incredible, this person coming forward. He's been seeing this for about a year. He just didn't know where to go with it. He had a connection in the DOD that coincidentally was one of my sources and connections. And so we all kind of came together. Now, his name is Richard Hirschman. He's a board certified funeral director and a board certified embalmer. Those are very specific, levels of expertise.
Yeah, hopefully not a dead man walking after this.
Well, hopefully not. He does say that he is among a group of colleagues that have 20 years plus, just like he does, of experience in embalming people. And so this is very new. It's not like he hasn't seen hundreds of different types of clots all over the body.
Right.
So what happened? Here's the basic story. When he started embalming people around, not that he started last year, but when he started seeing something unusual was when he was trying to introduce the embalming fluid, not to be too graphic, but it's pushed through the vascular system. And when he found resistance, Stu, what he did was he moved around, he chose some other tools, and he tried to remove it, thinking it was like sort of an isolated blockage. And what he did, and I'm showing you in this first picture, is he pulled this clot out, but as he pulled it out, it became something that was the extent of the person's entire leg down to their foot. And it was almost like a wax, mold of something, if you will, not using the term wax diagnostically, but when he pulled it out, you can see on the far left of this picture, there is a red blood clot, which he said, when I touch it, manipulate it, like any blood clot, it does kind of disintegrate and melt away. But as he moves down, and these are his words, not mine, he said this white fibrous piece that becomes the longer portion of it is very tough. It's stretchy. He can't break it very easily. He said it looks like it's emanating out of the clot. And his words, it appears that it's kind of feeding on the blood and the clot.
So this would explain why we're seeing all these heart attacks and strokes, because, obviously, we've put a blockage in the arteries. This is what's going to happen. And this thing is not easily torn apart, and it's like a solid, waxy type material. You're not supposed to have that stuff in your arteries.
Yeah, and you can see in the second picture here, he washed off. This is another clot from another portion. He starts at the groin. This is their, and what it is, he washed it off, so you can clearly see the distinction between the blood clot and the white portion, rubbery clot piece, and they're very integrated at their intersections. I thought that was really interesting. And to your point, Stu, this is happening very fast. It's like you say, these acute heart attacks and strokes they're massive and taking young and healthy people, otherwise healthy people down.
400 athletes, 400 professional athletes around the world.
Right. Here's the clue for that. With such an obstruction, like in picture one, where I showed you this long one on the table next to the person's leg.
Yeah.
If you had this happening over years, you would see it's called peripheral vascular disease, and you'd see a gross discoloration, grayish, bluish in the toes, the feet, and the ankle. So I asked him, I said, are these normal color? For someone who's passed, or did you see the darkening skin? He said, absolutely no dark skin, which tells him and I, as a medical professional, that this process occurred very quickly over weeks and months before the skin was able to become modeled from long term. So it just basically takes the person out. And if it's happening on one side, it's happening on the other. And it's also happening like from the brachial arteries and veins. And by the way, speaking of arteries, he said, I've seen hundreds of clots, and it's mostly in veins. And when I started this work, I've never seen this type of clot with the connection to the red portion and then this rubbery thing before 2021. He's never seen that before. He has colleagues that are also as experienced as him. They are corroborating, they're seeing it as well. And I've asked them, Stu, to come forward to me and to let's get more of the story out, because if anything's going to stop Pfizer from injecting this in 6-month-old babies, this could be the thing.